Welcome to Hardcore Adventure. This is a small Minecraft series where my goal is to obtain 4 late game items. I will be playing in the brand new 1.11 snapshot, which added a ton of neat features ranging from cursed enchantments, shulker boxes, woodland mansions, and of course, llamas. Those were only some of the awesome additions added in the exploration updates. The 4 items I will be obtaining is the dragon egg, the elytra wings, the shulker box, and the totem of undying, which are items only obtainable in to make game. It is now time to boot up the world and start up the series. So I will create a new world, and I'm not going to touch anything else but the world name and the game mode. I will be using a random seed for this world, and I will put the seed in the description if you are the few people who want it for some reason. The world has been created. So, like every Minecraft Let's Play, we will do the usual things that we do at the start. Chop 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 with a tree, work on the workbench, diggity dig a hole in the earth, and slicety slice the animals. Okay, sorry about that. We will move on. So the next thing we do is to find a village. I was originally going to dig down, but we are in biomes that do spawn villages, so why not? After exploring around, there we go, a village. I come closer and I try to look for a new villager in town, the cartographer. So this cartographer has some important trades that we need in order to obtain one of the items, which is the totem of undying, which are found in woodland mansions. In order to find one, we need a treasure map, which you can get from the cartographers. At the moment, I can't really trade to the villager because I don't have the items that are required to get one. I also want to make this my home so I can store items and do trading. After I do that, it's now off to the caves. Actually, not yet. On the way to finding a cave, I discovered this desert temple just a couple hundred blocks from the village. I hop in and, this is some good loot. Something that is useful. Nothing special. Oh, wait a minute. A Fortune 3 book? That could actually really come in handy. I was genuinely surprised when I found this book in the desert temple. I promise that this is a randomly generated seed. Moving on, I go again to find a cave and I come across another village. I go in this village and I find a blacksmith in the village. In the blacksmith, I discover some very useful items like obsidian, an iron sword, and some food. I go into the librarian's house to salvage some more bookshelves and craft up some items like an iron pickaxe and a shield, which is a very valuable item for your survivability. So far, I am surprised that I have such an amazing start from all these finds. Before I leave the village, I just do some quick inventory management, and I am finally off to the caves. When I hop into the cave, I heard some fire, which was very unusual. I realized that there may be trees burning on the surface or a mine shaft nearby. I keep exploring to find this coal and mine it. I hop down and I come across my very first hostile mob, a skeleton. This is where the shield gets very important. I can use this shield to block the skeleton's arrows and kill the skeleton without losing much health. I go for the swing once, then block method to take out the skeleton. I quickly make some more torches and turn down the volume because it was loud. Then I move on. I mine more coal and I continue to explore the cave. I kill this skeleton and mine this iron. I encounter a dead end in this branch, so I turn around. I saw some iron on the way down. I attempt to find it, then mine it. I hop over to another part of the cave and I find 3 creepers. In the 1.11 snapshots, the shield receives a massive buff where it can block all the damage coming from the creeper, even at point blank. This footage will show an example. I turn around and encounter 3 more creepers. I let the creepers explode and I fight the zombie villager behind me. Zombies are fairly easy to kill, even in large groups. Just make sure you don't get caught into a corner. I go on and I encounter, what, 3 more creepers? How many creepers do I need to fight? You also need to be careful when you let a creeper explode and you block it. The shield will absorb all the damage coming from the creeper, but the shield will lose a ton of durability in the process. You can also keep in mind that I'm not wearing any armor at all. More iron and coal to mine and we can move on. This cave ended in a dead end with some iron. I mine more coal and I enter a different branch to find more iron and coal. The cave led to the surface, and judging from the light, I know that it's nighttime, so I sleep. I continue to the next unexplored branch and encounter 2 skeletons and 2 zombies. In some cases, it is tricky to move forward in a cave, and I proceed with caution in this case. I was a little too aggressive at this part and nearly die here. In this case, I quickly move back, get my health back up, and jump back in to finish off the mobs to gain more ground. There is also a neat trick where you can sometimes reflect the arrows back at the skeleton and hit them. For this to work, you need to at least be a block away from the skeleton, facing him and block his arrow. There is a likely chance that the arrow will hit the skeleton. Now that I cleared this part in the cave, I can move on, but I hear a lot of mobs all around me. So I again proceed with caution. I will stay in this part of the cave for a bit. I realize that it would be very dangerous to move on, so I cover up all the exits to be more safe. I also thought that this would be a good time to start crafting some armor, so I placed down the furnaces and smelted up all the iron and all the uncooked food. I slowly waited for the iron to smelt, and as I went, I crafted up all the gear and I began a push. I want to take this safely, so I dug down to where I think the mobs are, and mined until I found an opening. I can see a lot of mobs on the other side, but I made a big mistake here and expanded the opening so that a large group of zombies could breach through. I realized that my mistake and I ran as quickly as I can out of the opening before I get killed. I attempt to block the hole, but it failed, and the zombies proceeded through the hole. I've moved back even further to minimize space and attempted to finish off all of the zombies. I began to push again, but I need to be careful. I attempt to finish off all the mobs in the area. I quickly retreat to regenerate health and go back in a couple of times during this push. I finally finish off the area and now I can move on. I mine some more ores in this branch and pop to a dead end. I go in this branch and I find a lot more ores, mobs, and cave to explore. I pull off a "this is Sparta" move on this skeleton. I continue to explore the cave, find more ores and the occasional mob. I encounter my first bit of gold underground and I smelt some more iron to make a bucket and an anvil, which would really come in handy later on. I grab some water from this waterfall and I check what's next down the cave. Further down the cave, I discover this ravine that goes all the way down to lava level. I go back to my furnaces and finally craft the anvil. I quickly light up the other part of this cave to be more safe, and I find my first bit of lapis, which is one ingredient needed for enchanting. After some more exploring, I realize that my shield broke, so I quickly go and craft another one. I also realize that my pick is also very low on durability, so I craft another one of that as well. I finish up this part of the cave, and now it's time to go hop into the ravine. When it comes to ravines, I have to be very aware of my surroundings because a creeper or other mob could follow me and easily kill me in no time. There were some instances in this clip where some mobs fell near me and attempted to finish me off. I slowly move through the ravine and discover a bunch of redstone, gold, and coal. I do need some redstone for the trade I need to do with the cartographer later on. Nothing special in that ravine, so I go explore this part of the cave. I found some ores, but that was pretty much it. I go for this part of the cave on the left and I found a bunch of iron. I slowly and carefully made it back to where I came in at the end of the ravine. I explored this part of the cave and I found this lava pool. I found a cave on the other side which led nowhere. It's pretty much the same story on the other side too. I go back to explore the branches I previously didn't come to, but they all ended in dead ends, with some ores in each one. I go into this branch and I found a ravine. The mobs in this ravine were giving me a hard time. It took me a while to kill the skeleton because there was water in the way. I also decided to do some more inventory management and continue to explore the ravine. I found a bunch of iron in the ravine and that was all. I come across more dead ends in this section. I quickly check for any more caves I haven't explored and mine more ores in the process. I came across no more unexplored caves and I knew that I conquered this whole cave. I jumped down into the ravine and I started to dig. Now that will conclude episode 1 of Hardcore Adventure. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.